Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Now We Know podcast. And I'm very, very glad to be able to tell you that I have an opportunity to chat with some guys from Boss Fight Studios again. And one of them, of course, is a familiar face in front of the show. We have Andrew here from Boss Fight, but also I'd like to announce that we have Chris Olivari from Boss Fight Studio as well. And Chris, since this is your first time on the show, I'm just going to ask if you can just give a quick introduction and your role at Boss Fight, and how you're helping bring all this cool stuff to us as fans.
Well, thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me on. My name's Chris Olivari. I've been at Boss Fight as their director of product design for about a year and a half now, giving Andrew and team a hand with a few brands. It's been a great time, focusing on a lot of action figures and getting to work with the team on the new Kickstarter for the Sorzoic Warrior Arena game that's coming out next month, 9/23. So It's good to be on board. And I met Andrew back in the day in 2007 working in action figures. So it's great to be working with him again.
Yeah, and part of my brain is like, man, you guys have known each other for a long time, but 2007, that was just like 3 years ago, right? I mean,
pretty much.
I think it was 6 months
down.
Well, it's exciting, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk with us because I of course, you've got some new things coming out, but it seems like I say this, Andrew, every time that you and I talk is that, man, you guys keep adding to the slate with all kinds of really cool, not only like properties and products that, action figure things that we're kind of used to, but you're expanding beyond that. So we got a lot to discuss. So if you guys are cool with it, I think we can just jump right into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I want to start because the newest thing to me is something that is really fun, and it's like I stood back when you guys made the announcements that you had Garfield, and I was like, you know what? Garfield has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, and it's like Happy Meal toys are really they're cool. They're the only like Garfield representation I have, but now you guys have brought us some proper action figures with the Garfield line, starting off in Series 1 with Garfield himself, Odie, and of course, the most adorable cat ever is Normal, right? So how these things are getting ready to ship, right? I mean, we're getting close.
We're getting very close on those and a number of other items, but yeah, Garfield is very close. We're sort of at the point where we've approved everything and we're sort of waiting for them to go on the boat.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's really exciting to have these guys in hand because as a child of the 80s and into the 90s, Garfield, of course, is a comic strip first, but man, those old animated episode like specials and whatnot are like burned into my brain, and it's like if ever there was an action figure expression that I could like relate to, it's it's that one. So hopefully everyone's not watching this on a Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited about them, and it is funny, as I'm going back and looking for reference on this stuff, how many of the strips I'll be like, wait, that one, I fully remember that one.
Yeah.
Every part of that gag, it's just lodged in the back of my brain somewhere. But yeah. Speaking of expressions, these guys all have, changeable expressions, and they operate pretty easily.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Odie's a little different.
Yeah.
Because Odie's mouth basically exists on his neck.
Uh-huh.
A very strange anatomy. You have to pop off the head and then pop off the neck to be able to change out the necks.
So he can have his toothy smile, or what I consider to be like his iconic tongue wagging
Yes.
expression, right? Yeah. And speaking of wagging, as you're changing that out, I don't have the piece with me because it's like I'm keeping it in a very specific spot so it doesn't get lost to the carpet monster. Yeah. But I absolutely love the effect of the wagging tail that you included with Odie as well. So it's a really fun first series.
Thanks. Yeah, we're pleased.
And I featured Garfield and Odie earlier this week, but I wanted to hold back one, and just by nature, it was Normal. Not because I'm not going to take a look at Normal, but I am so glad that you guys decided to go carded with this with this line, because I think that the characters and the colors and whatnot and the graphics really lend itself well to it. And I know people aren't going to be able to see this, but I didn't catch it in pictures before, but I love how you have like the strip art in the background of these two, and it's really eye-catching.
Yeah, thanks. Our package designer Dave Reeves did a great job with that, and we had some great assets from our wonderful partners at Paramount. So yeah, the packaging came together really nicely.
Well, Series 1 is getting ready to ship, as you said, and I know a lot of people are really excited about that. But you guys are like moving with the line past. I don't want to say just past action like individual figures, but you guys are also. And I can pull this up here. You also just recently announced that there are going to be some 2-packs that are a part of this line, and one which we'll get to. I'm very thankful for, and it was almost like that was one of the first things that popped in my head. That it was like, okay, they got to do this, and you guys did it, and we'll talk about it. But man, this Garfield and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Garfellow mashup is this is just awesome, and it takes two great things that are even better together. So how did this come about from this like one thing in like one comic way back, right?
Yeah. It was the sort of thing that was once people discovered it, it was getting shared around the internet, and it might have been the always wonderful dinosaur Dracula that brought it to my attention. But sort of once we knew that strip existed, we started talking to Paramount about is there any way this could actually live as an item? And we've a little bit of back and forth. We managed to be able to do it, and we couldn't be happier with it. It's got some fun stuff. Of course, we still have the changeable faces on Garfield, and we've got the stack of pizzas, which is probably, the best accessory I've ever designed. You can't get past how great that is. Yeah. And Odie, with the shell on his head, we included a little wagging tongue feature.
Yeah.
To move back and forth.
Well, that is just it's a lot of fun, but it's also, it's a good wink. It's like every once in a while, it's like, it didn't exist like in anything other than like a single print, but as you said, thanks to its popularity online and whatnot, it's something that people are like really excited about. So this was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the other one is Garfield's Halloween Adventure, which I was speaking about them before, but Garfield's Halloween Adventure and the Christmas special, those are two things that, I try to watch, annually and whatnot, but this is just great with Garfield and Odie in their pirate costumes and all kinds of changeable parts for them as well.
Yeah, we knew the Halloween special was great when we started on it, but to see the outpouring of love from the fans for this one especially was amazing. People love those specials. I think it's really that phenomenon where, because it was a special, you taped it onto VHS and you probably watched that 100 times as a kid. Yeah. So this one's really fun. The sword has a little peg that plugs onto his bandolier, and you can change out the peg legs for Garfield and Odie. And the hat is a separate piece, so the Garfield expressions work the same as with all the other figures so far.
Nice. And it's funny because Garfield is one of those properties where it's like there are other characters, of course. It's like, but him and his different looks and costumes and things like this, it's just there are so many of them that I'm excited for. So it's really cool to see that you are already thinking, expanding. It's almost like thematically outside the regular line into kind of these 2-packs assortments, right?
Yeah. I mean, sort of the main line. Right now it sort of exists as a place where it's sort of the core characters from the strip. And then we're looking at sort of those special applications for the multi-packs. And we've even got some special deluxe characters planned coming out that might have to be a bit bigger.
Oh my! Well, I was going to say, especially this early in the line, I don't start bombarding people with wish lists too hard. But man, let me tell you something. I've been in love with old Grandma Arbuckle for as long as I can remember. So that sassy lady, she was the star of the Christmas special, as far as I'm concerned.
For sure.
Well, exciting stuff for Garfield. It's funny. It's like he always has like kind of a steady stream of popularity, but it's like every few years, it's like it gets like a injection and people discover him for the first time and rediscover him, and he's kind of riding high right now. So this is good timing all around, and I think people are going to be really happy to be able to add a character that's just as iconic. Especially, I mean, I think of Garfield, he's modern, but in those 80s and 90s, with those 80s and 90s characters too, and just as popular and prolific. So he's great to add to the shelf. So exciting stuff with that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Well, since we have more to talk about, you guys also had kind of a big announcement. I would say not too long ago, and one that I know a lot of people. I mean, when new stuff is announced and people are excited, you can usually tell. But this one was a big one, and I know you had kind of teased a little bit for it. But man, you guys are getting into the Hellboy universe with, can I say, proper 6-inch-ish scaled figures, and man, oh man, I am so excited for this. I mean, obviously, you guys are looking at properties that are viable and whatnot, but what made Hellboy a good choice for you guys? Because, I cannot wait for this.
Well, I mean, number one, everybody at Boss Fight is huge fans.
Yeah.
When we thought it was the right time to shoot our shot on these with Dark Horse and Mike, we were very lucky and very thankful that it was something we were able to make come together, and to really really bring out some really nice modern figures that matched Mike's style and the style of the comics.
Yeah, I will say I love the stories, I love the characters, but to your point, Mike's style, not only is it perfect for these characters and these stories, it is so unique and lends itself so well to being done well in like action figure plastic format that these are instantly some of the most eye-catching things that I've seen in a long time. So man, I can't wait for this. And the first series that you guys have announced, of course, Hellboy is there, and Lobster Johnson, who is another of the more popular characters. He's cool too, because it kind of gives us that I guess that human size or that human form in the line. Of course, Hellboy's bigger, right?
Yep. And both of these figures could not have come out better. We've already handled the first pass on the fine cuts, and seeing how all the great work of our sculpt team, Fred and Tony, came out in these hard copies was just incredible. Just all the sort of the sharp forms and all that definition and the little nicks in there, and the articulation works amazing. So we could not be more thrilled.
Yeah.
they caused a stir when they came into the office. There was a crowd.
I bet, and that's why I would have a hard time doing what you guys do, because it's like, even though I know something like a first pass or fine cuts and whatnot, those not to be meant to be played with, but it's like I would really want to play with them. So
well, I mean, sometimes the prototypes do get broken because you played with them too hard.
Yeah. Well, those are the sacrifices that have to be made,
right?
And bring rad toys to market. So I like the directionally building lines too, and when it shows, because I mean, let's face it, there's a lot to explore in Hellboy in terms of character like that. So getting established obviously with the main character, and then a well-known supporting character is great too. One of the things that I always get excited about in lines, because for some reason it's like, oftentimes some of my favorite characters are the ones that are, one shots or not A or B list or whatnot, or digging a little bit deeper. And man, I got to say, this was totally unexpected, but incredibly welcome, because this is absolutely wild.
Yeah. Grogak was on my short list from day one.
Yeah.
He becomes such an important character to the story, and he's just like, he's such an appealing little guy, so yeah, to be able to bring him out and with some key story accessories, like the box that Nimwe's in, and the chalice of blood that Astaroth gives him, man, like, he's great. He's got that articulated jaw. It works so well. Very excited for him.
Yeah, it's we spoke about it, but when tackling a property like this, there's a lot to do and respect and whatnot. What was Mike's style? Is that something that adds like just an extra challenge of fun with getting right? Because to me, it's so unique that I would be almost probably over obsessing with getting it perfect, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's it's a challenge. It is definitely something that took a lot of work and rework to get right at every stage. Because it's so flat and it's so graphic. It's one of those things that is just hard to translate into 3D, and luckily, we work with such wonderful folks that really put their all into it.
It's funny because in some ways it's like the drawings almost look like they've been chiseled and sculpted, but then they have the lines and the like nicks and things, and it's like it just adds to that. And every time you look at it, it's like, man, there's a lot going on here, and it's just you guys have just caught it so well that it's like, this was just announced. We're the first 3 figures being shown, but oh my brain is going crazy right now. So
yeah, ours too. We've got big plans, and the initial sales response to Hellboy has been great. So it's that sort of thing. You want to see more, you got to get in there and pre-order as early as possible, and that allows us to make those big plans down the road.
That's awesome. Now, are you guys are planning on being at New York Comic Con?
We do not have a booth. We don't really have a presence, but we do have kind of a special item that is going to be in concert with that. So, Chris, I don't know if we can say anything about that yet.
I'd say stay tuned, but we're going to have something to share soon. It's pretty exciting, I think, in one of our new brands. I think very, very soon, obviously, we'll have it ready to show.
It's coming up, because I was just asking because it's like, man, I can't wait to see these in person in some form. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more from Hellboy. And you know what? It seems like, wow, you went from Garfield to Hellboy, but Garfield and Hellboy would really get along, and I think they would actually go well together. So the boss fight universe is becoming pretty rad with being able to clash those up in plastic. So
I think Hellboy likes lasagna.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. And a grumpy cat, I mean, they're a match. So it's just, going from one to the other is awesome. And like I said, it speaks to your guys's absolutely crazy spread and variety of products and properties that you're representing. And it's a lot of fun. So man, Garfield and Hellboy is a hell of a way to get this conversation started. So congratulations on everything looking great. And I already can't wait for more with those.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, moving on, because we do have a lot to talk about. Something that is near and dear to you guys as your proprietary property with Sorzoic Warriors. You guys have been, we're what, three series of action figures in, and you guys are expanding not only that, but into new horizons with something that is really, really exciting, and it's the Saurozoic Warriors Arena game that you guys are going to bring to life via a Kickstarter campaign, right?
Right. So this month, 9/23.
September.
So we are right around the corner, but we've been working on this for just over a year, well over a year now, and like a true early '90s property. What Andrew did with the team making this line, and the time that it's kind of been inspired by, early 90s, some of the more extreme, fun, wacky toy design that, every toy designer loves. They're all amazing. And Sorzoic Warriors is one that I've always loved on the outside. So coming in, we took a look at, the team was really passionate about getting into games, and what better way to start making that tie-in, expand the story of our brand, and do kind of this wild ship in a bottle episode of take all of our characters, put them in an ancient Roman Colosseum, and make a pit fight out of it. And kind of the special sauce here was bringing in a game design and toy design legend, Stephen Baker, who's an absolute legend. So he's on the bottom right there. A wonderful person to work with. He's done everything from Hero Quest to Battle Master, Space Crusade, but he's also done a ton of toy work. Anytime he's in the office, we kind of delay him and make him tell us Mighty Max stories from his Bluebird days. And he's been just a pleasure bringing in as a game designer to make this for us. And as a great partner, it's really become like a contemporary take on those, early 90s IPs into a really fun new way to play. And the storytelling is going to have that same kind of awesome action with some great tongue-in-cheek humor and fun that, it is of that time, the extreme dinosaurs, the turtles, street sharks, all of that. So this is our love letter to those great tie-ins. We're going to do cereal next year, so look out, and maybe some pajamas, who knows. But definitely stay tuned. So we've got a pre-launch site for folks to check out. We've got a ton of art up. We've got a lot of amazing, I call them minis, but they're really kind of like giant minis. These are like a 2-inch plus miniatures that we've got. So this is Stays, and he's got kind of a great guarding shield and a mace with, full kind of Roman armor.
Yeah.
We've got range. So all their play styles are going to kind of go into their kind of character type and biology, obviously. So range is, he's got the reach, he's got a giant kind of poleaxe, and of course, the classic Roman mohawk.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks good in the Roman mohawk helmet there. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we've got Triax, who's kind of a master of arms, so he's dual wielding.
Yeah.
And we've got Mar, who's that classic, trident and net, who's going to be more of a control character. But it's fun. It's like a really fast, casual tactical game. So it's gonna have a lot of fun, kind of pick up and play, but enough like crunchy strategy where you can go deep if you want, or you can have fun rolling a bunch of dice.
So this is all very, very exciting to me, and not only because I was a kid who did not live around people who I wanted to be into D&D so badly as a kid, but I didn't have like an outlet for it. But Hero Quest and Battle Masters both were games that I absolutely cherish to this day because the playing the games, painting. I mean, I painted,
Yeah.
those plastic miniatures. So seeing that connection to this is so wonderful. But I also have to say, I like the idea of the design of the game to be able to be accessible in a way that it can be a game that can be played in due time. I think a lot of time, and as you said, it can expand, but I think a lot of times people kind of need that accessibility to it to be able to say, hey, I'm going to sit down and play this game, and it's going to take about an hour, and it's going to be great, because it can be intimidating when you get a new game, and it's like, well, it's going to take you 17 hours to complete the full gameplay, which is fine for people who like and enjoy that. But I think having a game design that is accessible in that way is a really smart move.
Yeah, I think you're going to find that too. It's going to have that depth, but you're going to pick it up quick. You're going to have a great time in under an hour,
Yeah.
and everybody walks away with kind of these great holy moly moments where I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you won that way. I can't believe I died that way. And it's made to be built upon. So kind of the first baked in expansion it's very volcano based, and you'll see that it's kind of an active dynamic board where it's going to keep exploding on you and rumbling and changing the terrain and the way you play. And then we got plans for the future. So we've got expansions that are going to be baked into the Kickstarter when it goes live, and some other future stuff that we want to get to. And we'll also be showing some new characters, and maybe even some potential characters that might tease incoming Andrew's thoughts, where he wants to take Sorzoic Warriors, the action figure line. So there'll be a lot of cool, fun sneak peeks and Easter eggs baked in.
Well, that's following along and getting that information as a Kickstarter campaign goes along. That's part of what makes it a lot of fun, and we'll link to like the informational pages and whatnot with this. But gosh, if you guys are already talking expansion past dinosaurs put in a Roman Colosseum kind of format on an active volcano game board, it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with the crazy awesomeness, but I am here for it. So this is really exciting, and I love that it's helping to drive, as you mentioned, other pieces of like characters in the action figure line, and further the story along, because you guys get to kind of develop this and do your thing with it, which has got to be so exciting. I mean, it's great to work on licensed properties, but being able to develop your own thing like artistically has just got to be a completely different breath, right?
Well, I think it's board game and toy. It's not really the same world.
Mm-hmm.
But what's so great about Boss Fight is driven by passion, and making something that we want to see in the world, and by creatives. So that's what you're going to see in the game. The same way that we approach that huge range in action figures, we're taking that to tabletop in our first foray, and I think people are going to be pretty excited with what they see, because again, we're having a great time playing it. The same way we break our prototypes, we're breaking this game constantly, and having a blast doing it under the stress of sometimes we look at each other and we're like, wow, we're really doing it.
Yeah.
We're really making a game now. So it's a little bit of anxiety there, but that's the fun.
Well, I think that it will definitely help bring gaming minded people awareness of the property, as well. And also, I think bring, those of us who are kind of more on the toy side into, the more of the gaming part of it. So it's like being able to expand, with a property like that from a fan's perspective is really exciting too. So congratulations. And you guys are, really cooking with the right people. And, just even seeing the neon colored game pieces, it's perfect. So I can't wait. And you said live on 9/23, so that's going to be here before we know it.
Yep, mark your calendar. We're going to have a lot of great offerings. And before we go live, be sure to sign up for the mailing list. We've got some great kind of pre-launch goodies in there that are exclusive. We've got a great pre-launch card that's exclusive, and we've also got a mini expansion that if you buy in for kind of a pre-launch tier for $1, we include that in your once you back. So that's some exclusive gameplay content for you as well. So check it out. We appreciate it, and I think it's really going to show that the team has been working real hard on this. It's looking great.
Well, exciting stuff. And like I said, we'll provide a direct link to that. But of course, if you're watching this, you can go to the Boss Fight Studio website and find your way to it for sure. So, best of luck. I can't wait to just, be a part of it and follow, back and follow along as the campaign goes, because there's an art to that alone. And I'm sure you guys have got some cool timed stuff to keep the excitement going and whatnot. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Well, Sorzoic Warriors going beyond the action figure format into games, but to get back into some action figures, you guys are getting close to, well, you are in the midst of something that you've had going for a little bit now. And if I can get my screen back going, and that is the Court of the Dead, which is it's a really cool property that just lends itself to action figures in a way that has that bit of detailing and dynamic qualities to it, unlike a lot of things. So I was hoping that maybe we could talk through some of the new stuff going and the recent stuff for that as well.
Yeah, Sideshow has made an amazing property. They've got literature, they've got amazing art, statues. Obviously, if you've been to any convention with Sideshow, I'm sure you've seen an amazing statue from Court of the Dead. And it's truly their kind of homegrown brand where they get to flex their creative muscles. And they've been an awesome partner. Obviously, we've had some amazing products we've done in 4-inch. We've moved to 6-inch. To really kind of maximize the detail, the paint, the scale, and really kind of bring these to life in an articulated posable action figure format where, borderline, I've got kind of wave one in front of me, and it's sometimes like statues come to life with the detail that we're getting here. And the paint washes, the tiny little accents. I can't tell you this. Sometimes I just look at this and so Death has got every single stud is painted on his pants. This is how a designer's like into his product when he immediately turns it around and shows you its back end. But it's one thing to have a lot of paint. It's another thing to have a lot of paint meticulously in the right place. And this is production, so it's been unbelievable. Obviously, we're mixing soft goods in here. We've got Death. We've got multiple hands. Just amazing detail. Great posability. We've got his scythe as well. We've got Kier. She comes with her mask and sword as well, but you can see like we're not messing around when it comes to the detail here. The team has done absolute amazing work bringing these designs from art to statue to 6-inch, even kind of on the blood splattering. We've got oversprays into tampo splatters. Just fantastic, fantastic detailing here. The print on the face is fantastic. We've got all of her braids.
Yeah.
And the skulls within them, the bone within them, painted. And we've showed off wave 2 that really starts to get into some amazing new form factors. So you can see Demethyle, who has 4 arms on a 6-inch figure articulated. We've got 3 of them with double elbow joints. We also have the amazing kind of emaciated baby hand. But he also comes with his war mask, which is fantastic. Another great look. Great posability. And a fan favorite, Shard, who is coming with 3 separate heads, interchangeable ponytails, which I don't get to say that enough in our line of work. But you can swap out the ponytails for kind of different poses and action. She's got kind of a neutral face, a scowl, and kind of her war face going into battle. And she's got the 2 swords. So her backstory is very interesting, of kind of a crusader in her life who is kind of the only living character in the Court of the Dead who comes in and deals with these characters. But she's got, kind of that great chthonic armor mixed in with kind of some notes from her past as a crusader. So you can tell by that sword there, that's a little bit more human. So these are, I think, action figure enthusiasts, 6-inch enthusiasts. These are true like art pieces that I think as we show more, and as we're working hard in the background for more, I think it's going to be something that draws them to this brand, because they're amazing in hand. The team's done such a good job. We've got wave 2 well underway, and wave 3 as well. So we're working on that, and just letting folks know, like, there's truly going to be a great collection to get in on, and we're only going to get crazier with it from this point.
Well,
I was just going to say, like, it's almost a treat to get to see these guys up close, but not have to work on them, because every time I look at them, I'm astounded by the level of sculpt and deco detail, and man, they just seeing something new every time. It's unbelievable.
Well, and that's something that I wanted to mention, is because, Chris, you brought it up. If you've ever been to a convention where Sideshow has a presence, I remember, a few years ago, several years in a row, at San Diego, I would call it the Sideshow Museum, because their booth was literally like, it's like, I'm going in and looking at these pieces that are just jaw-droppingly amazing, and the level of detail and that's put into their statues and their work and whatnot, and that's got to be a challenge to be able to, I don't want to say recreate, because action figures are kind of their own thing, but do the justice of pieces that are already kind of exist in 3D in a different form, right?
Yeah, it's daunting, and putting a 6-inch figure against a $1,200 statue is, we're punching above our weight for sure. It'll never be 1-to-1, because it's amazing works of art, but truly for what we love making. Mm-hmm. It is an art form, and emulating that and having a character that you can pose out, that you can take shots in a diorama, photograph, you can add to your collection and pose, or you can add a new, villain to your story, if you want to kind of put it in your own head canon. It's a joy to work on. It's truly, a brand that, if you don't come correct and do it with passion, it would pale when you put them next to each other. But I'm really proud of what the team has made with it. And every wave, we're just pushing ourselves further and getting a little bit wilder. And that's kind of I'm sure that's why Sideshow has made the brand, and that's why we're enjoying working in it. So it's I think the biggest thing for folks is to get it in their hands. That's why we're really excited as we're getting ready to send out Wave 1. And obviously we'll have more Wave 2 news pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, great that Sideshow has, entered into a partnership with you guys, because to your point, I appreciate statues. I'm not a statue collector. I'm not a statue guy. I am an action figure guy. And this is something that I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to really learn about and get into without what the work that you guys are doing. So it's really expanding, I think, a base, and it is taking something and putting it into a format that I absolutely love and enjoy, and I'm baffled by the level of detail and whatnot. And this is going to be a really fun one with, like you said, stands well on its own, but it can also fit into other shelves in your collection as well, like seamlessly. So exciting stuff. Well, just moving right along, since I have this one queued up, I've been waiting to talk about this because this was another pretty big announcement that you guys made, and this is your new Immortal Champions line, which is I'm calling which I guess people would refer to as the 5.5-inch chunky style muscly line. You guys are getting that kicked off, and I have a picture of Conan here, but you're launching with Conan and Red Sonia and a skeleton, which, Chris, I know you have some to show off. But guys, I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to bring these characters into a format like this, not only on their own, but what it means for, properties that I'm also into that might be in this format, right?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, the whole backstory of Immortal Champions, which is a dream come true, was obviously every day we're talking about toys and going on and on about 5.5 and other weird, crazy toys in that scale, knockoff, international stuff. Just like one day Andrew just like came in and he's like, what if you just made 5.5-inch line? And I was like, can I? And he's like, yeah, let's see what it is. Like, we're talking about it so much. And it was like, oh my God, yeah, let's do it.
Well, you bring up an amazing point, just real quick, because yes, there are properties for it, but when you get into some of those international and like the wild and craziness where those took this format is something that to me is just as exciting. Cooking up like your own wild and crazy ideas to go along with something that's licensed like Conan.
Yeah, so it started with the brand, so Immortal Champions being that kind of dark 80s umbrella that, when we've got good fits with partners, so Conan obviously is fantastic there and totally embodies that. Red Sonia as well. So we started kind of from the architecture of the brand and then having these opportunities to work with great folks and kind of see what we wanted in that of something nostalgic, but something very modern to collectors' aesthetics now. So I've got an early version of Conan here. So the colors are a little bit off. So I'll heavily caveat that, but you can see feels so good to have in hand. We say 5.5, but obviously Conan he's always going to be bigger.
Yeah.
So he's above the 5.5. You can pose him in the classic kind of hunched pose.
Yeah.
You can also go straight leg with him if you want.
Yeah.
So again, this will kind of become our form factor. Obviously we've got a lot of great articulation on the legs, great posability. You're going to see this crotch has got some give to it. So similar to what we have in our 6-inch lines and hacks, you can really kind of squish and get some movement out of that. And you can also get great detail kind of in the fur. So this is not a hard plastic. This is a PVC that So all of that detailing goes all the way around. There's no seam there, so there's no blank detail there. We've got, obviously, this is a maximalist brand where he's got to be chunky, he's got to have the muscles. So this is kind of our take on that. We've also got a double barbell in his in the waist.
That's very nice, because that is not common, even in modern interpretations of this style. So that's exciting. That's cool.
Yep, and you can always do the flat plane as well.
Mhm.
So you can still get that. Conan, we've got a great print on the face, so you're going to see he's got that moody kind of dark Buscema style eye. We've also got the blue-black hair, so the hair is two-toned. This is obviously this is comic Conan, and so we pulled a lot from that, and some of the more iconic looks. We've got a treatment on the fur for the waist, and then let me see, where's his and we also have a great muscle belt, because there's so many different iterations of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing all my fun toys. But sometimes he has that great muscle belt where it's got kind of the three giant armored spheres, and of course, when we're still making it's toy, it's collector, but you still want to see fun stuff like putting his sword in its sheath at his side.
Yeah.
And this is like an absolute kind of monster chunky shield. It looks like like a true piece of metal that you should like have in your plumbing or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a lot of great detail. It
And-
is just, big and heavy, but still holds great in his hands.
Yeah, I love the decision to go have that muscle belt add on, because it almost brings the character into the form factor even more, because it's like that style belt is almost a part of the style, right? So that's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah, and you want to be able to give, as we look at brands like Conan, you want to give a lot of different looks.
Yes.
Because so many people have a different look of Conan in their mind.
Yep.
I
agree. And he's had, various interpretations and styles, and, one shot type things brought about, and being able to expand on that is great, because you're right. Lots of people find Conan at different times and in different places. And so having the opportunity to bring those different looks is really cool.
I've got a few more Immortal Champions here as well.
Yeah.
I've got Sonia that I think like a lot of love. Again, I'm going to caveat the colors are wrong,
Sure.
but you'll get an idea. But having kind of the female character form in this 5.5, and to still make Sonia a total badass, and all future female characters, there's something to the scale where they've always been female characters have been a little bit other and maybe
smaller.
not as tough.
Yeah, and just smaller than they should be in that form, right?
So we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not only that, Sonia is, an absolute badass. She doubled the sword, a warrior first and foremost. So she's going to have, she's got great musculature, still beautiful, still elegant. Obviously classic, late 70s, mid 70s style, what you would know as that classic comic Sonia. And I think, we're really happy with kind of where this form factor has gone for a very playable, posable style. Again, we got, you could do the hunch look, you could do the straight leg look as well, but super posable. The legs are super posable. Everything that you kind of would expect. We also have the waist cut. We've got the socket on the head, and a lot of this is secondary, so you can take off kind of the upper leg armor, the bands, and on each side, and she's going to come with two great, we want to go over the top, crazy kind of metallic, not the neons of the 80s, but like kind of the sword and board metallic colors for her. That's a little bit more classic fantasy.
Yeah.
And so she's wrapping up now. Both of them are, and super happy with how they're coming out. But I think the third being kind of our homegrown. I mean, Boss Fight is known for skeletons.
This is my guy.
This is like a dream project of getting a beefy, classic, full skeleton with negative space. This, as an army builder, is, we want to do more with this guy, but starting with this kind of classic fantasy, like a Draugr cursed skeleton, guarding a tomb. This is the backstory here. So you're going to see kind of like a lot of that crazy armor detailing. That's kind of like Viking.
Back of the helmet. The back of the helmet's unreal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We've got like a demon guardian face in the back. We pulled a lot from some different armor of the past to kind of make it ancient, but kind of timeless and not from any specific region. And of course, you take the accessories off and you've got an amazing base skeleton for 5.5-inch scale. We've got a full paint treatment on this guy that just looks stunning in hand. It's a little overexposed, but when you see it in hand, with the full wash, it looks aged. It looks really great for this scale and for this price point, which is fantastic. We got more coming, but a great one to army build. The fact that we have full negative space in the rib cage.
Yeah.
But not only that, in the forearms as well. So that passes through as well.
Yeah.
In here and the legs. So this as well, it's got negative space. So super cool. A lot of great articulation here. And I think the team did a really good job of, you can kind of see how you can get like a full bend, but the patella, the knee will kind of cover that disc a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is just a labor of love. This guy, the team did a great job sculpting. Fred killed it.
I love Conan and I love Red Sonia, but man, there is something about a thick skeleton that appeals to me in so many different ways, and I cannot wait to have like 10 of those guys on the shelf, just wherever, and one on the desk, because I probably that style as a skeleton, that's one of those things I need to like fidget all the time. So I am so excited for that one.
Well, I got to tell you, I find myself bringing them around to lots of places when I don't need them either, exactly for that. And it's got that great fidget quality to it.
Yeah, and it's one of those that it's like, my collection exists on like an entire floor that just happens to be my basement, but certain times a year those guys are making it upstairs to add to the decor. So yeah, I cannot wait for that. So that it's a great concept that is, having a bit of a renaissance right now, I think, with various properties and whatnot, but adding Conan and Red Sonia and some of the things that you guys are going to be doing, it's really, really cool. And it reminds me that, that was really my first action figure format when I was a kid. I mean, that's how I came into action figures. So it makes me appreciate just how timeless now that it's become, and these characters and these designs lend themselves so well. So I cannot wait for these.
I think the people who are already fans of that that sort of fantasy figure, that form factor, are going to be really pleased, really surprised with how beautiful and functional these guys are. They're fantastic.
Yeah, and like I said, you guys working on kind of your own things, but it makes me think about it's like, you know, there are a lot of characters, properties, and whatnot that they just take on another level of expressiveness or something when they're brought into a style like this. So it's like, yes, Conan has definitely enjoyed his time in the sun, but not like this. This is different, and it's like perfect for him. So I'm really excited. So, Chris, now we had a chance to talk a little bit beforehand, and since we just did talk about Red Sonia is also enjoying some plastic space across some of your guys' other formats as well, and I am still very much loving the first Red Sonia release in 6-inch that you guys put out not too long ago, but there is some new Red Sonia stuff on the horizon that will be rolling out pretty soon, and you might have something to share with us, right?
I do. I've got a great early sample of our final painted sample. So this is from factory, so super close, but I'm super excited to share our steampunk legend Red Sonia, and this is another great example of kind of our epic hex 6-inch scale, the detail that we can get, the new and interesting things that we can get. We pushed ourselves in a few different ways on a character like this to kind of make this style work. And even from, like, as you can see, this is a character with kind of a mini jacket top that with shoulder puffs that are removable and you can fully articulate with. So we were like, will this work? And we're like, it should on paper. But, you know, I don't think I've seen a figure do this in 6-inch yet where you can articulate with those puffs. The jacket is a secondary as well. That's removable. And the armored top is removable as well. So you've got so much that you can do with this figure, so many different looks. We've got a different kind of waist accessory. So we've got her kind of buccaneer accessory here that has storage for the rapier.
Yeah.
And kind of her parrying dagger on the side. So these come out. These are removable. You can put them back in. This great rapier as well. So awesome. We've got deco on there as well. So we've got a red metallic jewel in there.
Yeah.
And it just goes right in with kind of a gradient faded sash. We've got obviously her flintlock pistol here.
Yeah.
This is removable as well. This is a secondary that comes out. We also have these are the little things that like get you out of bed. But her steampunk goggles, these are clear.
Wow.
They go right through to the bandana. It's painted underneath. And of course, we had to do it so that her secondary head has them clear as well. And as you get close, you can see her eyes are printed.
Yeah.
And kind of magnified by that clear plastic. And we've, you know, of course, every hairstyle, we try to do something a little bit different for fans. So we've got kind of a loose braid in the back with the tie. And then on this one, we've got the tied sash and the goggle bandana on the background. So you can get a ton of looks out of this Sonia. We do have a secondary top, so you can take off the jacket, you can swap the top, and then you can put in more of like a stylish petticoat look.
Wow.
That we have for her. If
I was going to
it.
say, one thing that people do not have is a puffy sleeve and petticoat version of Red Sonia yet.
No.
And it speaks to your guys' design and the style and quality of the character, but she looks so great in so many different looks that this is just fantastic.
So this is a great one, and I think folks will see this as well. So we've got great folks, partners at Red Sonia, that are great, helping us achieve these looks. But this story is from their Legendary series, where Sonia is fresh off of a pirate adventure and goes into a steampunk adventure. So you'll see there is a lot of pirate kind of mixed with the steampunk as well, but she is also a pirate captain here. But you can see we've got all of those studs are painted, all the buckles. We've got every little stud connecting the leather painted on here. Here is that petticoat where it's a great treatment, multi-layer on the fabric. Again, we've got some leather braiding in there that's a little bit hard to see.
Oh, that I can see the detail up around the band. That's the belt part. That's great.
And for folks who, there's still time to pre-order Sonia Steampunk Legend now. And if they do, we've got two great goodies if they pre-order from Boss Fight directly. That we've got a third armored top and a giant two-handed axe that has got amazing detail, another wash. We've got kind of that bronze detailing, striped on the bottom as well. I mean, these are just kind of great, luxurious paint ops. And I've got Sonia Wave 1 here, She-Devil with a sword, with the exclusive. This is that scale mail top that you can put on your Steampunk Legend, or you can put on kind of Wave 1. And then this great fantasy double-handed axe that works with both as well. But I do love that it's kind of a third look for She-Devil with a sword that you can get out of that exclusive pack if you want, just showing you how Hacks works across the line and how you can really accessorize your Sonia how you want, even if you want to you can mix and match parts from there, but it's made to work together. It's made with the same skin tone for Sonia, obviously, but she's just got so much great stuff in this offering that I think people are going to have a lot of fun figuring out and posing with, and even kind of like this. I'll get you a little bit closer of that half jacket. Working with you can see there that it's got full articulation, and then you can just kind of push the jacket into it, and then it becomes seamless. And it just feels, like one cohesive look. So between the upper top and the butterflies, you can kind of make any pose work for the most part.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it, Chris, because the different looks and being able to swap things out just by virtue of Red Sonia lends herself to this well because of these various different looks, but it also shows off the modular and swappable nature of what Hacks overall is really founded on, right? And it's like of course, Red Sonia is her own thing and she stands on her own, but having her be a part of that as you guys continue to roll out new hack stuff as well is really exciting too.
Yeah, and fans, I think they'll discover amazing creative ways. We love seeing the mods. We love seeing customizers figure stuff out. So there's plenty there.
Yeah, and you guys are helping to further that along too, Andrew, with a lot of the more recent hacks offerings and things that are in development, right?
Yeah. I mean, by the end of the year, people are gonna have a sizable chunk of the 6-inch hack stuff in their hands, and even more next year, and it makes a pretty fantastic collection.
Yeah, well, I know from a just that, like you said, an accessibility standpoint, but a customization and being able to integrate a line into other things or what people kind of come up with on their own, that provides creative outlet, and that's something that's really cool when you have something that you can work with that's so foundational, like a line like that. So it's cool. Yeah, there we go.
We got the blanks.
Yeah.
These guys are all done and about to go on the water.
I'm glad you brought that out because that was going to be my question.
Yeah, so this is the coffee female, and as you can see, we've got a fun little sort of comic strip treatment showing off sort of the basics of how to customize them.
Yeah.
Showing off, all the parts and features on the back.
Yeah.
And then here's the male in the box. So these guys are an incredible value. And I'm just going to say it. I think, if you haven't pre-ordered these, I don't know that we'll be able to keep them at the low price that they're at for very long, given circumstances. So
Yeah.
I would get on the ground floor of those.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's wild because, when I think of a line like this, I automatically think of, okay, the parts and pieces and what they make up. But man, just holding them up carded, it was like, damn, that packaging looks fantastic with them. And it draws attention to the features of a line that is, modular and blank by its own, at least for these. And it's really cool how they even look cool packaged. So that's awesome.
They look great. So I don't work on this at all. This is one of the nice things of, like Andrew said earlier, I like bugging him, going to his cube and looking at Hellboy and things like blanks where like, I keep this around just as like artist reference and pose reference.
Yeah.
And like all the sculpted figures, like it's just fantastic to hold in hand. So again, that like fidget and pose factor of even if you're not a customizer, it's a killer figure with great range of motion that there's so much packed into it that you're just going to have fun playing with it and having it on your desk.
Yeah, that's a great point. That is another good one to have on the desk because it's like you can block and figure out in your head how something needs to be posed by having the freedom to be able to come up with that with a figure like that. So exciting, and Andrew, you mentioned those are getting close, right?
Yeah, they are done. They're just right now. They're waiting for the couple of other projects to catch up to fill that container. Gotcha.
Well, man, we have talked about a lot of stuff, and you guys have so much going on, and it's so exciting. I wanted to, take a couple of minutes before we go to kind of check in on some things that are kind of ongoing for you guys, because Chris and I got a chance to talk because I shared with him how much I am really enjoying the villains from the Strawberry Shortcake line, and my girls are going bananas. And my youngest, her favorite color is blue, so she has been all over me about when's Blueberry. She just calls her Blueberry, So I wanted to check in and see how wave 2 of Strawberry Shortcake is coming along.
I think we're pretty much ramping up to get ready to ship.
Great.
To folks, thanks for being patient. We're working in the background to make sure manufacturing and production is going to where we want it. The one big thing with Strawberry, there's so many great patterns and wraparound stuff that we really take a lot of time to make sure that we're getting the best aesthetic at the end for that. So we definitely took our time with some QC and getting to a place that we're happy for fans, but it's very, very soon. This is something that's incoming right now. So it's something that we're actively planning for, and folks should have it pretty soon. I'd say within the we're talking weeks, not months, I would say.
That's great, and you make a good point, Chris, because it's great because it's one of those lines that it's like the characters have a very nice cohesion overall. But gosh, if you really start to look at things like their designs and patternings and whatnot, it's like every one of them is so unique and does a really good job of representing, I guess, their associated, fruit product, or whatever. That it's like the personality really comes through. So I have garnered a much deeper appreciation for the property through your guys' line, and they're fun to smell too. So
Yeah, and they're so jam-packed with so many great accessories and storytelling elements, and also we've got their berry besties,
yeah,
kind of their friends slash pets.
Pack-ins, man. Pack-in friends are some of my favorite action figure things. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so I'm happy to say that that's going out, and like all delays, we're toiling in the background to make sure that we get the best for you folks, because that's what we always want to deliver. And I'm happy to see it going out. So let us know what you think. Let us know what she thinks. That's always the best part.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I absolutely am not shy about that. So I can't wait, and I love being able to talk to you guys about it, because it's amazing to me in terms of the respect I have for your guys's creative brains, to go from, okay, we're working on Court of the Dead today, tomorrow it's Strawberry Shortcake. It's all but it's all good, and like I said, I love the range of variety that you are working on.
It's terrible for retention, but it is a very exciting work day of doing jumping jacks between all these great properties.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't forget to mention that the exclusive is still out there.
Oh, yarn hair strawberry. So folks might not know that. Visit your local Cracker Barrel. This is not a statement of any kind of branding elements, but go check out your local Cracker Barrel we've got great kind of single characters with their berry besties, but we've got an exclusive strawberry with her classic yarn hair.
Yeah.
That's out there in a very limited amount. So yeah, please check it out. That is one that might go under the radar with some collectors.
Well, I was going to say this might be a little telling as to the types of texts that I exchange with Robo throughout the days and weeks. But man, he was so excited to share with me that he had found the Cracker Barrel exclusive. Shot me a picture of it, so it's like, oh, I've got to find the nearest one and get out there, because he was like, I found the Cracker Barrel exclusive.
We appreciate that. I mean, I'm not above looking for a certain Happy Meal toy. Or the hunt takes you to weird places for all these delicious little plastic parts that we love so much.
Well, and it gets them in front of people who might not ever see them otherwise. So yeah. I think that's really fun. So that's great. That's great.
It's a great opportunity for us. They've been a great partner, and it is kind of a brand that fits there so well. I mean, if you look at Strawberry Cottagecore and Cracker Barrel, it's that same cozy kind of collector in person, what you find in there. So that was just kind of a genius synergy that we were fortunate enough to find ourselves in.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to find that. I can't wait for Series 2 and to see what you guys have cooking for the future with that as well. So I'm glad we got a chance to talk about Strawberry Shortcake for sure. And Andrew, another one that I wanted to mention, because I know this one is very near and dear to both of us, is that how things go with the various Popeye formats that you guys are bringing out so wonderfully, and that I just love so much.
Yeah, Popeye is ongoing. We have another wave that is waiting, ready to go. We're just it's the process of juggling the projects and the priorities within our sort of small development team, and but yeah, Popeye's not going anywhere. Lots of great stuff. We have the the Wave 3, which still has that new toy smell on it with some great figures like the Goon and Tor. So yeah, absolutely.
For Roughhouse has talked his way in to like one of my favorite figures of the year, just because having him and Wimpy together is like my internal struggle. So it's like it's funny. I look at that shelf and I was like, damn, Popeye has been done such wonderful justice in this line, that everything looks great, and it's helped me kind of like revisit the property at a deeper level too, because man, there are some wild and awesome characters that are just waiting for plastic. So I'm glad to hear that that's ongoing, and exciting to see where things go next for sure.
Yeah, we got a ton of love for the property, and Fantagraphics is keeping some of the strips in print. And if you've never experienced the original Seeger Popeye strips, you really should.
Yeah, it's not what you expect, I guess is what I would say. It's like parts of it, of course, it is what you would expect, but where a lot of those old strips go and whatnot, it's like, wow, this is wild and crazy, and I really love it because it's so off the wall and cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then finally, I know, just because the last time, Andrew, we talked, and because I always have them close to me, just seeing how things are going with the Fraggles and Fraggle Rock as well, because Wave 2 is out there now and people are getting them and enjoying them, and it's just like Wave 2 really brought the collection together.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Henson, they're wonderful partners. We love working with them, and there is absolutely more Fraggle stuff coming soon. But yeah, we've got the 9, sort of, if you count the Doozer 2-pack.
Yep.
And that's including the big deluxe sprocket. So lots of great Fraggle fun to be had, and stay tuned for some upcoming announcements of some new guys.
All right. Well, that's exciting, because it's like, you always opine for your favorite characters, and it's like, with Wave 2, Boober came out, and I was like, heck yes, now bring me all the wild and crazy, ones and the different characters. So there's a lot to be mined there, which I know I'm talking to, preaching to the choir and talking to the experts here, but just the level of detail and the personality that you guys have captured in the line is just so perfect. And I love to be able to integrate that with, it stands great on its own, but, with some of the other Henson-based characters that I have on the shelf, and it all just goes together so wonderfully, and you can't help but be happy with figures like that. So I'm glad to hear that things are continuing to cook.
Yeah, our Fraggles in our home live above our fireplace, on the mantle with all of the other recent Henson figures, and they display very nicely together.
That is so, and we're getting right into that season where it's like it's going to be so damn cozy with the fire going and Fraggles. Yeah, that's how I would want to spend the entire autumn. Is just like that. So that's great. Well, guys, I said from the very beginning, you guys are working on so much, and as you said, your small development team, I am just in awe of the things that you are doing, not only from a size and scope standpoint, but just the variety. And we've talked about a lot of it. Is there anything else that we wanted to touch on? Because I wanted to make sure if there was something top of mind for you guys to share, that we talked about it before we went today.
Yeah, real quick, I've got a couple of the early deco samples for Epic Hacks core.
Yes.
So this here is the Space Pirate, and there's been some deco changes and some fit changes beyond these, but as you can see, man, this guy is strapped.
Yeah.
He's got the transparent parts in
and
the rifle and the sword, and it all stores on him. He's got the multiple heads. He's got the secondary gas mask that fits this lizard head.
Yeah.
So these guys are coming together very nicely. He's even got his little skull belt buckle there.
Yeah, I like the kind of, that capri length pant with the lizard legs, man. That's a classic styling that comes out very nice here. You don't think when you say that it's like the what? And it's like, oh hell yeah, that.
It's a classic element.
Yeah.
It's just and with him, he also has the bonus boot lower legs that you can swap out to make a whole bunch of different pirates. And just here is Roxy, our jetpack space hero.
Yeah.
And she just absolutely has some killer detailing, some amazing deco. See how cool the jetpack is.
It's futuristic, but almost like old timey at the same time.
Retro future, yeah. And then I
love her expression too, because she is not putting our shit.
Yeah, we're very excited about them, and those will be coming up pretty quick too.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh. So much and so exciting. But guys, I really appreciate you sharing everything with us, because I know it's stuff that I'm positive it's fun to work on, but it is work. So taking time out of your personal time to discuss it with us is always great, because I'm excited. It's like, oh gosh, Fraggles. Oh man, Hellboy. Oh gosh, Conan and Red Sonia. It's just so many different directions, and I love being pulled in all of them. So thanks for letting us kind of go on this adventure with you guys. And I can't wait for all this stuff to materialize on my shelf, and then to see what's next. So keep it up. And like I said, thanks for chatting with us today.
Absolutely. Always love chatting with you, Nick.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks so much for joining this discussion. As I said, we're going to drop the link to the direct page on the Boss Fight Studio site for the upcoming Sorzoic Warriors game Kickstarter, which is going to be launching on 9/23. So be ready, sign up for that newsletter, so that you can have access to the kind of the pre-launch exclusive pieces with that, which all the details will be on the site for that. But guys, good luck with that. I can't wait to follow along and go with you on that adventure as well. But again, everyone, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back soon. So we appreciate it.